die Duitse deel van my.
Nee, ek gaan nie baie praat, ek gaan nou rustig wees.
Pieters kom vir 'n donasie want die petrol is duur wees, ja.
Ja. Ek sal moet mooi fuel management. Ek het net geld vir 10 barrels.
Ek wil net gou my riek opstel hier so vir iemand anders. Ek praat weer.
Alles sê hallo.
Hæ?
Jy vir Charles sê hallo.
You're just on the mic, Mo, and Sal's in your rig in the seat.
Ja, hier is
nou
die
mos.
rig, ja. Driving lad.
Nee, ek worry nie oor dit nie. Ek het al klaar geleer net ou om sonder dit te ry.
There's Dirkie is coming online now.
Daai klink soos iemand wat stres.
Ja nee, ek baie. Baie.
Ja, is groot stres hoor.
Baie. Ek gaan nou vir julle nog musiek speel, dan gaan julle eers in julle broek kak.
Het julle gesien hulle het die mure vir die reis nader geskuif?
So.
Ja, ek speel nou another brick in the wall.
Dis oorspronklik daai.
Nou die ouens se seene weer klaar maak.
What's happening, B?
Evening?
Ja, ek het gemeditate voor die dis al.
En hy word die stofster is ook hier. Hy klink meer soos 'n kraam exercise.
As julle hoor.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Now I'm psyched up. I'm pumped.
Hallo, Dirk. Hi, Dirkie.
Alright guys, this stream is up, and why am I shouting at myself in the microphone?
Hi, man. I'm doing very well. I'm really excited for the race tonight. This is a lekker track, the long race, so I'm really excited.
Lekker ry julle.
Cool guys.
Shout out
Good
to
luck.
Peter.
Have fun.
No, good
Right
luck.
on.
See you on the
Black
other side.
Cheers. Good talk.
Suiker en op.
Ja. I'm pumped.
Okay, guys on the stream, you should be able to hear me now. That we've just done the welcome, we've just given the guys the exactly what's going to be happening. So for those of you who did not hear it, let's go racing. Marius and Ryan, welcome to the stream. Let's get cracking.
Hallo Andrew.
Andrew, how's it? Oh, I didn't accept the invite. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way. Thank you guys. Yes, I'd actually just try to turn the playback off in my headset, and I'd actually turn the microphone off. But we should be up and running. And Dirkie, you're able to hear me? Is that correct? Or have I not fixed my settings there? Let's just double check here. Prioritize party chat. That is correct. So while the room is currently loading, let's just take a look at what's happening in the current points. Starting off with the Alpha tier, and you can see how close it is. Drivers that are joining us in the Alpha tier this evening are Christopher, Bruno, Jakes, Jacques, Andrew, Dane. We were going to have Vince, but unfortunately he is stuck at the office and not able to join us. But as you can see, the points are extremely close there at the top. There was some confusion just in terms of having some points dropped, but we never kind of decided on that point. So as you're seeing those points, that is what is happening. Moving over to the Bravo tier, and we do have quite a few drivers that are with us. So Theo, he's leading it, but with only 25 points ahead. Is that if Ashley is able to get in a really good run, a good result, and finish a couple of points higher up than Theo, he should be able to take that. Ashley in second place, who will be joining us. Gavin joins us. Rudy, he is in the lobby with us, taking a break from looking after his newly born child. So Rudy, thanks for joining us. Roy is with us. Stephen, he once again is able to get into the lobby, and it is great to have him with us. And then Pitted, he's back from his fishing trip, and we are ready to go racing here at Bathurst. Dirkie, your thoughts on this race? Do you think there's been lots of hype being built up around it?
Yes, man. I think that this race can really surprise us. It's a track that can get a big bang on you, and there's a lot of walls close to you, and there's a lot of elevations that can make the back end get out, and you know, it's so difficult, and it's a long race. I don't know what the tyres is going to do. So I'm very excited. I can't wait to see what the outcome of this race is going to be.
So I must say
very
that
excited about it.
I did join the guys last night in the lobby, and I must say it took me close on 22 minutes to actually just get one lap in. I was battling to feel settled with the car, going up to the mountain section. Every time I was going through the dipper, through turn 16, 17, going down the hill just before the elbow, I kept losing it and putting myself in the wall. Hitting the wall here is definitely going to create a lot of damage.
Yeah, because I'm sure that if you hit the wall here, it's going to be a high-speed crash. There is no low speed here. You know, maybe one or two corners, but the rest of it is high speed. So if you lose it, you lose it big time. Yeah, there's a runoff area here and there, and that can save you a bit. But yeah, on the other hand, all the walls, yeah, very tricky. Yep.
And one of the other things about this is that the guys a lot of them are taking that longer gear ratio. So coming down Conrad Straight, the slipstream advantage is definitely the biggest that we've seen in this championship so far, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people trying to get that slip.
Yes, it's got a very long back straight, so I think that the slip will be very nice, but it's also not that easy to follow somebody through those S sections very closely. Sometimes if you lose a bit downforce, it can make it a bit difficult to get, you know, close to the car in front of you, but yep, still it is possible, it's not impossible.
So racing two different tiers and the guys only having 10 minutes to do a qualifying, so if you don't get your first flying lap or you touch the wall, that means you get to start all over again, and I do believe it takes about 2 laps to get the tires in. So you kind of almost have like 2 or 3 laps where you are actually able to get in an actual qualifying lap. And I did seem that I said actual way too many times there.
Yeah, as I already said, Bruno in the pit, so he might have had an accident there and jumped into the pit. So
yeah, it looked like his lap was invalidated because his hair's got a little red mark there, so he might have cut one of the corners on the inside.
okay, he's on his way out again, so let's hope he's got some time left to put something in.
So the guys were qualifying close on about a 2:28, 2:27. So with just over 5 minutes to go, he should be able to just sneak into flying laps. And so far, it's only pitted that actually has put on a lap time.
Yeah, I think the guys are trying hard, yeah.
Well, when you have everything to... Oh, that was very close here by Bruno, getting right up against that wall. See, a little touch on the wall there, but now he's going to have to keep going, and he's going to have to put in the lap time with the car in its current state. Jakes, he now goes fastest with a 2:27.4, and Christopher right behind him, 0.3 of a second away on a 2:27.8. So I do think that Jakes is definitely the favorite for this race. He has been quickest in all the practice, but then we do have Jacques, who apparently Jacques can also get those times down.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I wasn't involved in the practice. I had a very difficult week, so I didn't go into any rooms, and as you know, I've got a hardware problem, so it wasn't worth the while for me to even try. So yeah, for me this is like I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's fast and who's not. There's the long back straight that we were talking about now.
Yeah. So I've just got a message here from Steven saying, I don't know what's wrong, but I can't leave the pits.
But he's not on the board anymore. I can't see his name. Which one is
so
it?
what he might have done is he might have gone out, and hopefully he's going to be able to get back in. He's basically only got 15 seconds to get back in.
No, it's really close. Okay, so Bruno makes it for a flying lap. Now he must keep it clean, eh?
Yeah, now he definitely must. Oh, so that was a 2:44. So that would have actually been his time coming out of the pits.
Can you maybe walk a lap for us, yeah? You're going down
Without
the
a doubt.
first straight.
So we've basically come through turn number 1. This is now coming along the mountain straight.
No, that's the first
Down
straight
the-
after turn number 1.
Yes. Then we're going here into a Griffith's Bend. So going down, I like to go down into 3rd gear. Turn number 2. Then you'll see a little loss of the rear there. Then back up the hill into the mountain section here through turn number 3. Stay on the power. Then here a little touch of the brakes. Get the gear down. Up the cutting. Turn number 4. Then tighten up here through turn number 5. Go wide. Flat out here through turn number 6. Just watch the little curb on the inside there, because that definitely will pull you into the wall. Down through turn number 8, back up into turn number 9. That's called Frog's Hollow. Then a flat out here through turn number 10. Oh, I see Bruno had a little lift off there. Then here turn number 11 into Skyline, off the power, little touch of the brakes, straighten up, touch the brakes, gear down. There into turn number 12, down the hill into the dipper. Turn number 15 to the right. Straight on back on the power through turn 16. Little touch of the brakes into 15. Down into the Forest Elbow, turn number 18. Then onto the long Conrad Straight. The idea is to get right up behind your opponent, stay in that slipstream, and then move yourself to the inside for turn number 20, which would be through the chase. But now under the Pirelli sign, start moving over to the left hand side to get a nice wide angle here. Then just before the dark patch there, hard on the brakes, down into 3rd gear, turn in on the power. Bruno's a little wide there, so I think you might just want to brake a little bit earlier. So that is now approaching turn number 23. This is Murray's, just past that 3rd lamppost. Turn in, down into 2nd gear, and across the line, and Bruno should have been able to improve that time. So he moves up to 4th place, so great comeback there for Bruno.
Yeah, very nice one, not bad. I see Christopher pipped Jakes on that one. Can you still hear me there?
Yeah, I can. I can't see the times, unfortunately.
Can
can just
I
bring
do
those
something
up.
to the times?
Yep. And there we go. So 0.2 of a second, and that is how the guys will qualify, with Christopher in 1st, Jake's currently in 2nd place. He has finished. Jacques is in 3rd. He'll be having another run. Bruno, a 1 grid penalty, so I think that was actually him speeding in the pits. Ashley's ahead of Theo in 5th place, and Theo and Ashley actually battling each other here for this championship. Gavin in 7th with Andrew 8th, Roy in 9th, Dane 10th, Rudy 11th, and Peter down in 12th place. So I was about to say, I wonder if Bruno was still on a fly, because when he crossed the line there was still about 15 seconds to go.
Yeah, he's still on the run, eh?
Yeah. He's definitely pushing hard there.
That was a nice shot. Did you see the car jumping at like air time over there?
That was completely airborne. That was pretty awesome.
I saw they're doing about 227 down here without a slip. So when you're going flat out through that right hand, or 227. So it's quite amazing. Flat out there, 227. I think he braked a bit earlier there, so it worked out better for him.
Yeah. So he might be carrying a little bit more speed coming through turn number 22. But now it all depends here where he crosses the line. With a couple of seconds left, I'm sure the guys are going to be watching his lap. And Bruno moves up into 3rd place, and we see Steven disconnected there. Did we get Steven back in? Unfortunately, we did not. So that is extremely unfortunate there for Stephen.
Yeah,
So the final positions are Christopher in first place with Jake second. Bruno, he moves himself up into third with Jacques in fourth. Ashley's ahead of Theo, these two fighting for positions in the final championship. Gavin, he's in 7th with Andrew 8th, Rudy's 9th, Dane in 10th place, Roy 11th, and Peter down in 12th position.
And
So the
start
guys are now
those engines.
in the 2 minutes holding lobby, just waiting for the guys just to get their setups ready, make sure they've got enough fuel. 40 minutes, we will do up between 16 to 17 laps, depending on how quick the guys in front are, and it is going to be awesome.
I just want to check this start if you don't mind.
That's not a problem. So we are just waiting for the final syncing to be done. All the guys having selected their setups. Then we will be racing once we have the syncing. There we go. That was what we were looking for. We should get the syncing notification. There it is. Three red lights, 4 and green, 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 green. So Jake's got a great start coming off the line there. So Christopher's actually dropped down into second place. There, Jacques, he's still in third with Ashley in fifth. Theo in fifth. Oh, there's a car going straight on there. Looking at the timing of that, looks like it was actually pitted in 12th place because he seems to be falling down from the pack. But Jakes leads the pack going up into turn number 2 with Christopher right on his heels. I don't think this guy's going to be separated by much. And Jacques holding his own there. Theo in 6th place with Andrew up into 7th. He started in 8th with Rudy in 9th. Gavin in 10th, Roy 11th, and Peter down in 12th place. But still, there's going to be a lot of nerves now. You definitely guys just want to settle down, find their rhythm, and not try and force the lap times, especially when you've got other cars around you. So in shot is the 8th place Rudy. That was Andrew, went past him. Right behind him is Dane, and I'm sure these guys will be having a great scrap with Dane, Gavin and Roy. Oh, that's Christopher up against the wall.
In the wall.
So if he's got suspension damage, that's definitely going to be costing him. You can see how that little mistake has really cost him. Jake's already starting to pull away just on a second, but this is where the guys are going to start getting that advantage, the slipstream down the Conrad straight. So guys, if you are on the stream, give us a message, tell us what you're thinking about the stream. If you do like it, give us a like and give us a comment. Who's going to win this race? So Bruno not making it very easy there for Christopher, and Jacques, he is following in suit. And I wonder if he's just going to pull his strategy where he just sits behind the guys and waits for them to make that mistake.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like usual. He's just going to buy out his time and see what he can catch, like the vulture.
Then I'm just looking down into a 9th place there. Dane and Gavin having an almighty battle there. So you can see that these three between Rudy, Gavin and Dane separated by a second, so that's really good to see. And Roy unfortunately just starting to drop off the little pack here, down in 8th, 9th and 10th place. But Jakes has lost the lead to Christopher. You can see that they have changed places, but Jakes is right up behind the rear of Christopher, with Bruno right behind him. And very interesting enough is that Ashley's starting to open that gap over Theo. That was strange. I felt something on my lip. It was a piece of chili. So now my tongue is on fire! Yeah! I don't know where that came
from. Maybe the chili was stuck in your Movember style and then it fell on your lip later on.
Yeah. Listen, with something so awesome like this, anything can happen. Okay, through a skyline, Christopher is getting lots of pressure by Jakes. But I must say, when they... Oh, that's Jacques into the wall. That's definitely going to cost him.
Goodness. Oh, now Ash is on his tail.
No, Ash is going to be on his tail. But I'm sure with that damage... I wonder if Jacques is just going to move out the way. See, the thing is with this car, if you get some front damage, it's fine. It's once the suspension starts going... That's when things get really tricky, because you expect to be hitting a turning point and the car doesn't react. So Jakes and Christopher are side by side through the chase, with Bruno right up behind them. So Jakes in the lead, Christopher in second and Bruno in third. Jacques unfortunately has fallen down, having hit the wall coming through turn number 17. So that will be crossing the line to begin their third lap, with still 35 minutes to go. And this is what Christopher is seeing. A lot of the rear of Jakes, but I think that...
He's got a really good drive there.
But now I do believe that Bruno would probably be right up behind Christopher, so Jakes might actually be losing 2 places.
Oh my goodness, what I'm wondering now. Sorry guys.
No worries. So they're going to go side by side. I just wonder if Jakes will hold his line. So Christopher decides to go wide. They both attack, but now that puts Christopher on the inside, coming up into turn number 3. So Jakes will have to slot in behind him.
That's
now up the cutting. That was really close. You're so right there, Dirkie. So once again, the leader has changed.
Have you got any idea what the tires does here? Do they need to stop, or can it last to the end, and how much is left of it?
So we do have 4 weather slots that are set on this race. So the first slot is clear. The next 2 slots are overcast, and I know that the guys were really struggling to keep the heat in the tires. So now they're going to be running with quite a soft compound. So they're going to be struggling now, but then those tires will come in later, and then later on again, as it gets hotter, they'll start losing that grip.
Okay, cool.
But I unfortunately wasn't able to do a full simulation. Oh, that was so close there for Bruno.
Yeah. How do we move away from this? This is so much action, and
it's just so having a little look up on the board again, and I can see that Jacques has started just opening a gap ever so slightly over Ashley.
Yeah, he's about 4 seconds down.
Little tag there on the back of Jakes. Jakes got a little bit close to Ashley.
For Bruno though.
Yep, because we'll definitely see the time comparison once they cross that start-finish line. That is the one thing that I'm noticing, is that it is very difficult to overtake in these cars on this track, because all the guys seem to be going pretty much the same speed. So Jake's moving back onto that racing line, but now he's going to be under a lot of pressure from Bruno. You see in the background there Theo coming around, so he's also just trying to close that gap on Ashley, but unfortunately losing 0.1 of a second there on him. So this is championship contenders right here.
Those
So
are the
for
top of the cream of our Bravo team, Bravo tier.
That's it. So
Those two
for
guys.
Ashley to win is that Ashley would actually need one more driver to get in between himself. So he would need the likes of Gavin or Dane to get ahead of Theo. If Theo does manage to just get ahead of Ashley, Theo will win the Bravo tier. And as they currently stand, this means that Theo would be a winner and he'd actually take the championship by about 3 points.
Okay, but Andrew is still there to put some spice in that race, eh? For them. Oh, but he's not in tier 2, he's in tier A. Andrew, am I right?
That is correct. So Andrew is actually technically sitting in 5th place.
Okay. Yeah, he wouldn't make a difference moving in between them.
Whoa, that was a big moment there for Theo. You can see how that rear was going all over the place. But now the question is does Jacques just let them go and not try and hinder on their race, or does he keep trying to push to try and catch the 3 ahead of him?
I think he lost quite a bit of time while we were gone, because he was about 3.5 seconds behind, and as we moved to the other drivers, he lost another 2 seconds there. So I don't know what was the incident. Maybe I had a little bit of an incident there or something. Yeah, but this is close. This is awesome racing.
And I'm sure Bruno is going to be trying to just work out how he's going to be able to get the drive out of turn number 1. I see there's Theo is actually moved ahead of Ashley, so we're not quite sure what had happened there. Coming down the Conrad Straight, I don't know whether he managed to get himself a slipstream, but there you have it. Theo is ahead of Ashley, and having across the line, Theo, you can see, went just about 0.8 of a second quicker than Ashley, and Jacques now actually going slower than the 2 cars behind him. And yet the battle in front still remains, 3 drivers within a second of each other. Christopher leading the battle, followed very closely by Jakes and Bruno. And there's Jacques, you can see, dropping down even further. He's now dropped an additional 1.5 seconds from Christopher. So both Christopher and Jakes have actually just opened a little bit of a gap over Bruno.
Bruno lost some space there. Lost some time there.
But I must say, I would not be feeling comfortable being followed so closely going through the mountain, and B, having to follow.
Yes, one of those. Both of those are not that good.
You kind of need to pick the lesser of the 2 evils. So would you rather be chasing, or would you rather be following, Dirkie?
Well, myself, I would rather follow. Eh? I think the pressure is really hard through those mountains with somebody like Bruno and Christopher on your arse, so, and even Jakes. So I don't know when you want to be in front of that.
Lag. Shit.
That was lag. My goodness. No, it's not lag. It's still lagging. I hope he doesn't take Christopher out.
So that's not what we want to be seeing, but obviously that wasn't intention. We could see that there was lag there. I'm sure Jakes is going to feel that he was taken out there, but Jakes, if you look at that replay again, you can see that Bruno had lagged off the track, he had come back, and then all of a sudden he had jumped right where you are. And there's both Jakes and Jacques now going into the pits. Oh man. And the thing is I don't even know whether Bruno actually knows that has happened. We see Bruno taking the route up against the wall there. So the positions have changed once again. That's Andrew now moving himself up into 4th place with Gavin in 5th, Dane 6th, Jakes and Jacques both in the pits. So they're going to start losing some time there. There is a mandatory pit stop, however. So no, there isn't. Not in this series. Sorry, my apologies. There is no mandatory pit stop. The guys need to decide what they want to do. So if they feel they need to be in the pits, that's where they would go. You can see how Bruno's car is just jumping all over the place, and we can assure you that he is not driving like that.
Yeah, that's a pity. I wonder, because if I recall it correctly, he also had lag in the last race, so there must be something wrong with his line nowadays.
Yeah, he definitely did lag a little bit in the last race, but then what had happened is it seemed to have just come right. He was lagging for 2 or 3 laps, and then it kind of settled, but yeah, definitely not what we wanted to see.
No, it's such a pity for Jakes, eh? My goodness. Now, Jacques is like, I don't know, he's in trouble in this one as well. But I think that, I don't know what the points are, but isn't him and Jakes very close in the points?
So we can quickly just bring those alpha points up. So the difference between Jacques and Jakes was... So Jakes is on 341 and Jacques is on 324. So 17 points separates the two of them, and double points here in this race this evening. So either one of them could definitely have moved up ahead of the other. But as we are currently standing, we are looking at the GT5 champion. This is Christopher. He's now leading ahead, and you can see there's Bruno's car. Seems to have stabled up a bit.
I think Andrew is very chuffed with himself being in 4th at the moment.
Yep,
he's
he'll definitely be relishing at that. Yep, so for the actual the Alpha Championship, he's in 3rd place.
And Theo really moved up into 1st now, and he's gone. I mean, Ash, I don't know what happened to Ash. The DDC.
So I didn't see that, but we can see on the scoreboard that Ash is no longer there. So Ash is not partaking in this championship anymore. So he's basically said to Theo, Theo, here you go. There's your championship. Ooh, that was Andrew up against the wall. I hope that was lag and that actually wasn't him going into the wall. But that did seem like a very strange place to hit the wall there for Andrew.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of lag.
So 23 minutes have gone of this 40-minute race. And we had an almighty battle between Jakes, Christopher and Bruno. And unfortunately, a very, very bad lag moment there for Bruno, and he landed up coming back into the track and put Jakes on his roof. I was thinking the exact same thing.
He was good on the brakes there, but I'm still a bit afraid of that lag. It seems like it's getting better as the time goes by.
Yeah. And also the shape of Bruno's car doesn't really look like a Ginetta anymore from the side.
No, it looks like an old Beetle. Eh? There's no other close races than this at the moment.
I was also just having a look at the time. So what might start happening is in the next couple of laps we'll see Jakes just starting to make his way back up the field.
Yeah, I would like to see what his next lap time is, because he's got everything fresh, I believe.
Yeah, he
Car
would have
fixed
had
up.
to. He would have had to have that done, but because that would have been suspension. Hopefully, there wasn't too much engine damage. All the bumpers that would have need to be fixed. But now he could have even just put tires on as well. Look, you're in the pit for just over there 3 minutes 18. You might as well just waste another 10 seconds, put the fresher tires on, and then really give it a go for the next 20 minutes.
So let's see what lap times he puts in here, and then.
So there,
2:29.
Jake's
So yeah, he's
2:29.0. So he's matching the likes of Christopher and Bruno out in front.
So he's back on pace, so he will catch up with Rudy very quickly, and also the same with Jacques, and him and Jacques is actually fighting a bit for a position there on the championship. So yeah, let's see what happens from here.
With Jacques, he's just that's 11 seconds away, and I'm pretty sure that Jake's going at his current pace, because you can see that 1.5 seconds quicker than Jacques is give us 8 laps. At 1.5 seconds, that gives us, that's 8.5, so that's 12 seconds. So Jake should actually be on track to catch Jacques.
Yes, I think he should be able to do that. I don't know if Jacques is a bit conservative at the moment, because he also went to the pits. I believe he also repaired everything. But let's see how it works out. But that was a very good lap time at this stage.
Oh!
Like you said, the same as Theo. Oh my goodness.
There's a big moment there by Rudy. Touched the curb and unfortunately just pulled him straight back into the wall.
Something must have happened to Andrew.
Yeah, we can see he's going very, very sheepishly down there. He is weaving left and right. He's just now getting out of the way.
Yeah, he had a big accident. He's got a lot of damage. He can't control the car. Gone. Andrew,
So that is Andrew out of the race. 20 minutes to go. And he was currently sitting in 3rd place of that race, so not what we wanted to see. I just hope that Andrew does come and jump on the stream and he can just give us a comment of what actually happened. So Christopher now starting to...
some time there.
Well, Christopher Gardner done a 2:28.3. That's Bruno lagging up against the wall again, because I don't think he would have actually lost it there. That's quite a strange place. Must say those are very interesting lines for Bruno. So guys, if you have just joined us and you have joined the stream, that we have had a few guys that have chosen to leave. Unfortunately, a lag moment, and Bruno landed up putting Jake's up on his roof. So that is Jacques now starting to close the gap up onto Gavin. So Gavin is sitting in 3rd. No, Gavin's actually in 2nd place in the Bravo tier. And the other thing that's interesting is that Dane, he's in 3rd place in the Alpha tier.
Yeah, so that's actually good position for him there.
So now the question is that will Jacques close Dane down? Because that is 13 seconds that Dane has on Jacques.
Oh, that's
was that Jacques up into the wall again? You can see the side of his car. So if that wasn't lag, then he did hit it into the wall there. But we'll definitely see his lap time this next time round.
He can keep it close there now. He can get past this one and and try to attack the next guy.
And Jacques shouldn't really be tacking through the mountain section. He should just line him up, get the slipstream advantage down the Conrad Straight, and hopefully start opening a gap between himself and Jake's.
Bruno's also losing a lot against Christopher now.
Christopher's finding a 2nd a lap over Bruno now. That is absolutely incredible. So Jacques actually battling with straight line speed down the corner. Oh, great save there
that
by
was
Gavin.
actually-
That was Gavin that actually lost that place, but you could see how he hit that inside curb because the rear almost went out. He managed to catch it. Because during one of the practice rounds I'll end up doing the same thing, but I'll end up going into the wall on the left hand side and got myself stuck up against the wall. Oh, there's Jake's in the background. Now he's going to be able to see Jacques, and I'm sure that's just going to motivate him even more to start closing down that gap. So Jacques at 2:31, and we'll just wait to see when Jake's crosses the line what sort of lap time he had done. So that's 2:29 for Jacques, 2:31 for Jacques. Let me try that again. 2:31 for Jacques, 2:29 for Jake's. So 2.5 seconds there for Jake's. Starting to close down that gap, so you can see that that gap now is only 9 seconds between them.
This is our leader for the tier 2, the Bravo tier.
And should Theo keep it all together, he will be the champion. Oh, still got a bit of that chili just lingering on my lip.
Still there.
So we did start this race off with 13 drivers, and the mountain definitely taking some casualties. Race leader Christopher, 15 minutes left to go of the 40-minute race, and some very interesting lag moments here for Bruno in that background.
Now Jakes is catching up very fast with Gavin now, and then he will have his eye on Jacques.
Yep. And what I can think that Jake's is his objective now is to just get himself ahead of Jacques. If he finishes ahead of Jacques, he will just secure that place.
I think Jacques will be with, I'm sorry, number 4.
That's Dane.
Gavin. Dane, sorry. Jacques will be with Dane in about two laps time. If you look at the different lap times. It's 2:33, 2:29, 6. And he actually clapped Jakes on that lap. Oh, there comes Jakes in 28.5.
So that's still the second that Jakes is gaining on Jacques. Oh, great shot there of Christopher coming down the hill there. That is one of my favorite corners of this track, just the way the car seems like it just lifts, and as it goes down you find that grip back on that power. Man, I love it.
But Christopher's got a really good rhythm around here now. He's got his lines perfect, the braking points perfect, no mistakes, no sideways, doing very well over here.
And I think that's possibly the fastest lap of the race so far, a 2:28.1. I don't think we've seen one lower than that yet.
We can check quickly. Wrong one.
There we go, that's it. 2:28.1 is indeed the fastest lap.
Definitely. So there's something happening here.
So that is Jacques now closing up on Dane. But Dane must just keep it together and not be intimidated. If Jacques finds a way to get around him, that's great. But Dane must just drive his own race and not be watching his mirrors. But I think Jacques will get him because he got a much better drive coming out of elbows, the forest elbows. So Jacques making quite an easy move here on Dane. So Jacques will now move himself up into 4th place. Let's see if he just moves over to the left hand side to get a better line. Yes, he does.
very late on the brakes there, but he still makes it.
And yeah, really making use of those gears to help him slow down. So I must say, I'm actually really impressed with Dane and his performance. He's been able to keep it together, and just looking at his car, I don't see any damage on it, so he's kept it off the walls. So really good effort there for Dane.
There's Jake in the background coming with big speed there.
And the gap is definitely closing down. Let's see the lap time. So 2:30 for Jacques. Jakes will cross the line 2:28.6. So that's 1.4 seconds that Jakes has been able to close up on Jacques. 10 minutes. So we have close on not quite 5 laps, 4 laps to go. At 1.5 seconds a lap. At 6 seconds, man, it is going to be so close.
Jock definitely pulling away there. I think he's got clear of that, and then Jakes have to pass him, and let's see how easy he can get that.
And you're right, that was something I didn't quite take into consideration, because obviously Jacques was just a little bit slower through the mountain section, just waiting to get himself around Dane.
But I know this whole week there was a bit of battling between Jacques and Jakes. The one said, no, I'm going to win. The other one said, no, I'm going to win you. So let's see. Ruby's in the pudding. So let's see. Race leader there.
Just still a little bit disappointed. I feel so sorry for Jakes. He really was having a great battle there. But then on the other hand, I also feel sorry for Bruno, because I'm sure once he sees that replay, he's going to feel that that he was responsible for that, and just not a cool way to have ended the race, you know.
Yeah, it's a pity we don't have control over stuff like that, but it's unfortunate. It's not lucky to be involved or to be on the other side of the leg. So it's a pity. It's not a nice thing.
So interesting enough is that Bruno and Christopher are just about doing the same lap times now. Jacques still 1.3 seconds off them, and it is Jakes also. He is currently the fastest on track. So that would have now asked the question that if Jakes was up with these guys, would he be in the lead? So Jacques a 229.9, Jakes a 228.3. So once again, that is, that's actually 1.5 seconds that he's done. Yep. Now when you're looking at it and trying to calculate it quickly, sometimes you don't know whether you should be taking away the one or adding the one.
Okay, he's closing up there. I think by the end of the mountain, by the end of this lap, he's going to be on
Dane.
On Dane's tail there.
Jakes was much quicker coming through the cutting. You just see his exit speed, and the line that he took was definitely quicker. But now Jakes mustn't try and force the overtake here. I know Jakes is pushing. Ah, no, Jakes! No, Jakes! That was
exactly
not necessary.
what you said. Oh my goodness.
Exactly what I said.
He was supposed to buy out his time there. Eesh, that's a pity.
And the thing is that these cars are not quick enough to be able to get through there. Is that he should have waited, rather just followed him down and then got the slipstream advantage, because I think he would have got a much bigger advantage down the straight than he would have trying to make an overtake so early up in the mountain.
Yeah, the mountain is not the place to do that. I think he was supposed to buy out his time for that. Get a good exit out of that turn and get in past it long straight, and then he was in for a race there.
I completely agree with you. So now that means that Jakes is further 8 seconds down from Dane. I'm sure Jakes is going to have some damage on his hand, so that means that his race is probably done. Race leader Christopher looking extremely comfortable in front.
Untouched car. No scratch.
Well, we can't really say that. There was a few little taps and nicks and scrapes.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like there was anything serious though.
Yeah. I'll agree with you there. Man, that braking point there coming through the forest elbow, I was always nervous going down there. The amount of times I spun the car in the practice with the guys, just not cool.
Is that with that elevation going down before you go into the left-hander that you're talking about?
So the thing is, if you were braking before, I felt that I was just going too slow, and you kind of don't want to be braking in the air because that's just not going to work. And then braking on the way down is that the rear was just getting so loose that it was actually flicking me off to the right hand side, and I was finding myself facing the wrong way. Like I said, it took me nearly 22 minutes to actually put in a decent lap. So just over 5 minutes to go. Let's see that lap time. Well, that's amazing. So that was 0.2 of a second there from his previous lap. He did go quicker. So at that current pace, we might be able to just sneak in the third lap. Because he had crossed the line on 5 minutes 7 seconds or something. But if he keeps it under 2.5 minutes a lap, he'll cross the line with about between 5 to 6 seconds to go, which means he'll have to do one complete lap once again.
I hope that somebody's not going to be caught out with fuel by that kind of pace, because maybe
they've only planned for 15 laps. Meanwhile, there's actually 3 more laps to go.
That can make a big difference.
So it seems like the latency issue that Bruno was having has been sorted out, because his car is circulating pretty smoothly now.
So we've got Jock in 3rd place, so that's a good position for him for now. I don't think Dane is going to catch up with him, because there's a 9-second difference between the previous 5 seconds. So
but now, if I'm looking at the time, is that Jakes is just under 2 seconds now behind Dane, so Jakes is going to have another shot at getting past Dane.
Yes, and he's still 5 seconds ahead, faster than Dane, so it looks like he's still on pace. Or some pace. I mean, he did the same lap than Bruno.
Oh yes, you're right. So we can just jump down to Dane just to see what sort of attack Jakes is giving him. So once again through the mountain section. Now Jakes, listen nicely. Don't force the overtake. You're going to get him down the mountain. Jake's having another look on the inside. Phew, I'm getting nervous just looking at this.
He's going to have to wait. He's going to have to wait.
No Jakes. No Jakes.
Where's the patience, man? Where's the patience?
And the thing is, I understand that he's frustrated and wants to get past, but by trying to force that overtake, you could see exactly what it did. See, now that was a good move.
Yeah, that's a clean move.
because he got the drive out. Dane kind of moved over to the right hand side, and I don't think he let him through, but it was a lot easier for Jakes to get through there.
No, for sure. I think he nearly tried it again on this time on the inside, and it also wouldn't have worked. I don't think so.
So Christopher is on lap number 16. He did do a 208.9.
Just going past, eh?
Did I say 208.9? A 228.
Yes, I think that's the fastest lap again, isn't it?
So that is once again the fastest lap. That is correct, because the previous one was a 228.1.
And that's on
So
lap
the thing
16. That's amazing.
So his tires must really be working out for him. So the other thing that's going to happen is we just need to see whether when he crosses the line, will there still be some time for yet another lap, or will he just slow it down, let the time run out, and not have to do the other lap?
He's got 9 seconds in his pocket, so he can decide what he wants to do there.
So look, with 30 seconds, he's not going to be able to just wait around there.
Yes, yeah.
So I said about 6 seconds, but obviously going at 228, that gives you an extra 4 seconds either side. So 6 plus 4 gives you 10, so I was 5 seconds out. So yes, we will have one more lap, so 17 laps. So this is definitely been a blistering pace, and the question is, will guys actually have enough fuel to complete the 17 laps?
I think Jake's still struggling there with damage. He only did a 232 there, a second and a half slower than Jacques.
Sure.
So he must have big damage there. I think his damage is holding him back a bit.
So I've realized that my piece of paper that I needed for my notes I've left. But I'm back as if nothing has happened. So there is no more time left of this race. The guys will be completing this final lap. And currently watching Christopher, the winner of this championship, but not only the winner, the winner of this race, but not only the winner of this race, but the winner of the championship. So this is the first full season that Christopher has joined us. And here he comes and wins the championship. Bruno currently in second. We'll just have to check what's happening on those points, because I'm not sure who will finish where, because unfortunately we did have Charles. He was lying in second place but was not able to join us this evening. Then Theo, he will finish in first place here and take the Bravo Tier Championship. And just looking at the points, so Gavin will finish in 7th place in this race, but that will actually put him in second in the Bravo Tier and Roy in 3rd.
He ran a very good race here. I mean, yeah, he didn't touch anything that I've seen. He didn't make mistakes that I've seen. It's a very good race for him, yeah.
So I'm sure, give us a flash of the last, Christopher. And the answer is no. But Christopher will come home to win. Bruno will come home in 2nd place.
I don't know what the car that he's driving, but it doesn't look the same.
It seems to be a little bit squashed in the front. So a great race there by Theo. Theo coming home in 3rd overall, but actually winning the championship and the Bravo Tier. So Jacques will come home in 3rd place for this Alpha Tier. So a great race there for him. A little bit of damage, but had Jakes chasing him like a mad thing. So we definitely just need to ask Jakes about that massive crash. And there's Jakes. You can see his car untouched after spending a good 3 minutes and 18 seconds in the pits getting some repairs done. So a message there from Ryan Abrams saying, well done guys. Thank you very much, Ryan. Guys, I'm sure they will appreciate the comment. So there's Dane. He'll technically come home in 5th place, so really good result there for him. And big contact there between himself and Jakes. So it does remind me of when I was had Jakes chasing me down, coming through the mountain section, and I had Ash in front of me. That's Ash Tubbs. We were about to lap him, and he was in the way. I didn't know whether I should do exactly what Jakes did, but then eventually he did get out of the way and got around him without any issue. And that is the final results. So Christopher will win the race with Bruno 2nd, Theo 3rd overall, and winning the Bravotier. Jacques in 4th place with a 3rd for him. Jakes in 5th with Dane in 6th, Gavin 7th, Roy in 8th, Rudy 9th, and Peter down in 10th place, having retired. So we're able to just jump into the chat, the normal lobby. So I'm just going to change my settings here. We can return to the lobby.
I wouldn't ram you at all. It was going to be
Yeah, no.
an interesting
You
race.
must start washing your
No, I'm getting new internet. I'm switching over as of Monday. So
How's it, guys? What a great race. Jakes, such a pity there. Massive lag moment by Bruno. Ended up flipping you over. Sorry, man, just really not your day. But great racing there. We do have a little bit of a question there. The little maneuver going up the mountain. I promise you, as we were going up, I said this is not the place to force the pass. True's Bob. Little contact there. What were you thinking, Jakes?
When it was Dane in front of me, was it that move?
Yeah, that was Dane.
Yeah, no, I was just much quicker than him on that turn there, and I thought, no, let me just go past there, and his indicator was telling there's somebody on his left-hand side, and he didn't see me, and he cut across, and well, it was done.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history, yeah.
So, Jacques, you had Jakes closing you down, and by the calculations that myself and Dirkie were doing, is that he probably would have caught you in the second last lap. Head down, and what were you thinking?
What can I say? The first 2 laps was a bit too close to comfort behind Bruno, so as I go down the mountain, I hit that one wall. Got some damage, got some more damage, and then I saw Jakes pit it, and I thought to myself, I'd rather go in and repair myself, and yeah, luckily I got up in front of him and just pacing myself, so yeah.
And then Bruno finishing second. What a tight race there between yourself, Jakes, and Christopher. What was it like being in that position?
well, it didn't go the way I wanted to end. I sort of was hoping it was going to end the way we started. You know, the season we were 3 abreast and we were going that route, and it was awesome. But I think I had a lag moment, and I think Jake's car literally just exploded in front of me, and I was like, what's going on? And then I realized my ping was just too crazy because Chris's car was all over the show, and I decided to just, you know what, back away and just keep my space and bring it home. It's really unfortunate, so Jake, I'm sorry, but I'll show you a clip. But well done to Chris. I mean, he drove really well, he got the win, he was a solid all season, and he will fly the flag for SARCO, I'm sure, in the future.
Yep. Then Christopher, your first full championship here at SARCO. You come and show the boys what's happening. and you end up winning. How does it make you feel?
Firstly, I just want to apologise to Jakes there. I feel very, very bad for him. And Bruno, because of the lag, we could have had a lovely dice there up front, and I was looking forward to it. We started the season like this, and I was hoping to end it that way. I wouldn't say I came and I showed them what happened. It was a very, very closely contested championship, and I look forward to racing again with everyone else. It was awesome. Thanks, guys.
No, awesome. Then let's move over to the Bravo tier, guys. Roy, I think this is the first time we've spoken to you, but you'll end up getting yourself a 3rd place. There was lots of action happening within the Bravo, the Alpha tier, but just kept circulating and find yourself on the podium.
I don't think it's gonna make.
There it is. I can see it.
Sorry guys. Yes, it was a long race. Just try to stay off the walls and get out of the fast cars away.
Very cool there. And then Gavin, yourself and Ashley were actually having quite a bit of a battle, and we're not too sure what had actually happened, because all of a sudden we saw that Ashley had disconnected or had left. We're not too sure. Do you know what happened at all there?
I don't know. I was also looking for Ashley. Where did you go? And then I thought, okay, I'll chase down Andrew. And then coming down right in that S-bend there, I saw Andrew lost it, and I tried to avoid him, and I made a mistake, and he took it as well. And that was the end of my chase.
Oh no!
And then also ran out of fuel as well.
And I must say that both myself and Dirkie were actually talking about that, because we had predicted that there would be between 15 to 16 laps, and then we landed up having an additional lap purely because of the time. So very interesting there. Then Theo, you had a little bit of a battle with your closest rival Ashley in the beginning. You guys traded positions quite a few times, and then eventually you end up finishing yourself 3rd overall, but actually taking the Bravo Tier Championship.
Yeah, that was great. I looked forward for a battle with him. I think he made a small little mistake quite early in the race. Then I thought, you know what, he's going to catch up, and after that I thought to myself, you know what, just keep it cool and just keep the car on the road and stay away from the walls, and you know, you'll have a good position, and that is exactly what I've done.
No, awesome. Guys, thank you so much for supporting us here at SARCO and supporting the racing. To the guys at Medal State, thanks so much. We did manage to get the points all sorted out, and I do think that it was definitely easier this time round. To the guys at Thrustmaster, thank you very much for your support. And then lastly, to my wife, my Moshari, thank you so much for your time, patience, and the support in my little hobby. Thank you so much. Without her, none of this would have been allowed. So guys, thank you very much for this championship. Thank you. Cheers.
Well done to your wife.
Thanks, guys.
Well done, guys.
So to the guys that are watching on the stream, thank you so much for tuning in. Just keep watching the space. We'll have some more racing coming to you soon. Thanks for watching. Yos.